Good day all. So today I have two DVDs. Notice anything about them? No, they look fine. No, this one's still sealed. Unfortunately, they are counterfeit. More on this when I come back. And I'm back. So this was actually about a year ago, maybe a little over. But I had both of the full sets. Well, I have both of the full sets of a bit of Fry and Laurie and Keeping Up Appearances. But when we were renovating and whatnot, or moving things around, two single DVDs from both sets ended up getting lost. So I tried looking at a cheap way of replacing them. And I found these on eBay significantly lower than the requested or suggested retail price. So I figured, no, good idea. Looked at the approval ratings or satisfied customers, whatever they call that. It was well over 1,000. So I took a risk and bought them. And I guarantee a lot of people buying DVDs from this person, because the individual specialized in British DVDs, probably had no idea they were buying counterfeit DVDs. I'm like, they play fine. But there are still a few telltale signs, and really I don't like getting ripped off because I prefer to have authentic DVDs. Now there is a way that I can further prove that these are actually counterfeit, as probably about 6 months after buying these I ended up finding the... Oh, and by the way, I never bothered sending these back because it just would have been more hassle than it was worth. So I just left it at that. But about 6 months later, when I was going through, I actually found the original two DVDs in a box. So in just a second I will bring those up. Okay, so now I have the real DVDs and the counterfeit DVD side by side. Of these two, obviously the counterfeit is still sealed, so you can tell, but can you tell just by looking at it, out of these two, which is the real and which is the fake? This is the real one right here, Keeping Up Appearances. In many cases it's very, very hard to tell. Just take a look at the cover. The counterfeit DVD has obvious signs that this has been copied and printed off, mainly because it's faded and it's not completely clear. Look at the images on here, they're quite a bit sharper, and it's softer on this side. Same with these right here. Counterfeit, the original. Okay, now look at the back. Now, often you can tell if it's a fake DVD if the UPC doesn't match, but unfortunately in this case, that's harder to tell because this was obviously a copy off of an original. The person who was selling these obviously had one legit copy and just uses that to copy them off onto others. But if you look right here on the counterfeit, then compare back to the original counterfeit, as you can see right here by looking at it, it's a little bit faded. Same thing you can kind of tell in the lettering on the back. Still signs that it is a copy because it is not as sharp as the original. Same thing here with Fry and Laurie. Yeah, well, and it's hard to see this on the camera, but just take a look at the pictures there on the bottom. Then over to the counterfeit, not as clear. Proof of purchase, there's minor smudging. That one's clear. The font is clearer here than it is there. It's a little bit cloudy. But now we'll look at probably one of the best ways of telling that the DVD is counterfeit. Actually, before I go in there, another thing you should check for, most legit DVDs will have some kind of security tag on it. This was actually a dead giveaway. How I first noticed it, there is no security tags on there. Nothing. And it's very rare for an authentic DVD not to have some kind of security sticker on it. Discs themselves are a lot harder to counterfeit than the covers. Now this is the counterfeit disc right here, and automatically you'll notice that there's some lettering there indicating that this was probably a store-bought DVD. There are signs right now, one that I'll show you, that proves it. But also, look at the image on the disc. Here it's very, very cloudy. Honestly, not professional looking at all. Now, if you look at the original DVD, now if you feel right here, it's got kind of a grainy texture to it. This one is completely smooth, very, very clear. Obviously professionally printed. And if you take a look at the actual discs themselves here, it's a little bit rounder right here than the original. But what I'm going to show you next is the best way of telling if you have a counterfeit DVD. I'm going to flip them over. Most authentic DVDs, actually, well, all authentic DVDs will not be colored. It's just clear, perfectly reflective. Now look at this. If it has been a burnt DVD-R, more likely minus R than plus R for compatibility issues, you'll notice that this is colored. That is a dead giveaway right there. So once again, legitimate DVD, counterfeit DVD. Okay, and in a moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a bit of Fry and Laurie, which I've had this for about a year, haven't opened it, but I'm going to open it up here on camera. Well, actually, I'm going to turn it off while I open it because I can't quite I need both hands to do that, but we'll open it up and we'll take a look at the DVD and see if my theory holds true with this one. Okay, so here we have our suspected counterfeit. After a year, I've opened it up. So let's open this up. Take a look at it inside. Okay, so the work on this, it's a little bit better than keeping up appearances, but it's still not perfect. And there we go. Colored. Now, just for argument's sake, we'll take a look at the legitimate DVD. By the way, the legitimate DVDs were both bought brand new off of Amazon.ca, not from a separate seller. So just a second, we'll open that up. Okay, so here's the legitimate copy. Here's the fake. Once again, you can tell it's got a professional seal on it. The colors are well balanced here. A little bit squeakier, and you can tell that the colors are a little too dark. And once again, like I said, the obvious telltale sign. In this one, it's hard to tell what's in the middle because the original DVD sort of covers up the whole side, but it's a little more evident on keeping up appearances. But anyways, I hope this helps anyone who's trying to determine if they have a counterfeit DVD. There are a lot of good people selling on eBay, but unfortunately it's very risky. And actually after this one I've decided that I'm not going to buy any more DVDs off eBay. I rarely do anyway, and I haven't since. But anyways, that's it for today. So if you've bought British DVDs from, I won't say the name, but it's a Canadian seller off of eBay, you might want to check them because it looks like thousands of individuals have bought DVDs off this person, and they're still selling DVDs. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm one of the only ones that have caught the fact that these are counterfeit. Anyways, I shall talk to you all soon. And as usual, thank you everyone for watching, and I will be back with many more videos in the future. Goodbye.